Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be planning for the upcoming work week in my Hobonichi weeks. I am super excited because today I'm going to be planning for the first time in my brand new Hobonichi weeks for 2022. It is a little hard to see because this weeks has a plastic cover, but it is a deep blue color and you can see 2022 is embossed in red. I have a plastic cover on this weeks that I purchased directly from Hobonichi about 5 years ago. I love that it has a little bow, has little scallop trim up there, and then there's a little braid in the back. So this is one of my favorite Hobonichi plastic covers. So every time I have a weeks that is a solid color, I'm excited to use this plastic cover on cover. Now, just a little bit of a spoiler alert, I'm going to be attempting to use the Hobonichi weeks as my work planner, one of 2 work planners that I have in my upcoming planner stash for the next year. If you're interested in finding out about my complete planner system for 2022, please do hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for my full planner stash, which is a video coming later on this month. I have not yet set up this Hobonichi weeks. I'm going to be doing that later on this week, but I wanted to go ahead and get started nevertheless. So I'm going to flip right through to the first week, or the week that I am planning, which is actually the second week in this planner. And the reason is I'm going to be using that first week as a ideal week setup. So I'm going to be using that spread when I do my full setup of this planner. So this planner is a Hobonichi planner, so it has that very thin Tomoe River paper. It's a very thin rice paper that's very fountain pen friendly. The Hobonichi Techo weeks focuses on weekly layouts, as the name implies. So although it has a yearly layout, it actually has 2 yearly layouts and several monthly layouts for all of the months that are covered in the planner. The primary focus of the planner are these 2-page weekly spreads. On the left-hand side, you have equal parts for each of the 7 days of the week, and then you have a page opposite of that with the small grid similar to what you have in the other Hobonichi planners. Since this is my work planner, I'm going to keep it very minimalistic and use as much pen as possible. No stickers. I did decide to whip out a little bit of this holiday washi because, you know, why not? So I am going to be planning for the second week of December. I skipped the first week of the planner because I'm going to be using this spread as an ideal week spread when I do a full setup of the weeks. So I'm going right to the second week that starts on December 6th. This Hobonichi bear, it's kind of a little paperweight that I got several years ago, has been super helpful as I've been setting up these new planners for 2022. All right, to get started, I'm going to be putting this thin washi up top and this thicker washi in the bottom. In general, December is pretty quiet at work, so I've decided to split each horizontal section in half, creating 2 columns. I also added some additional lines on the right-hand side so that I can have a 4-section prioritized task list, 1 tracker, and a space for additional tasks that are not yet classified. As you may already know, I prioritize all of my tasks and classify them depending on whether or not it's a high priority or low priority item, a high urgency versus a low urgency item. Generally, that means I have 4 different task lists for work. So now my lists are titled high priority, high urgency. These are things that are important and need to be done this week. Low priority, high urgency. These are also things that must be done this week. These are generally administrative items that I'm required to do as a function of being a government employee. My high priority, low urgency tasks are generally just long-term projects that I'm not currently working on. And this final section is low priority, low urgency. I also mark this as waiting on, as I try to give all the items on this list over to my research assistant. I'm working really hard to stay on task this week because I'm trying to finish up some things before I leave on vacation in 2 weeks. So I want to track if I stayed on task that day or if I haven't. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. This bottom section is for incoming tasks that have not been classified yet. Since by some miracle of the office gods, I don't have any meetings scheduled for this week, I am going to list out all of my tasks and then schedule them out for each day of the week. I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot at work because none of these lists are overwhelming. A lot of things are here in the projects list. Some of these have to do with the project that I'm currently on, and some of them have to do with some longer term writing projects that I'd like to get done probably in the next 90 days or so. So I'm going to make forward movement. The goal, I think, for the next 2 weeks is going to be to get rid of everything on this high priority, high urgency list, as well as all of the things here related to the study that I'm doing right now. I'm going to be making a video on my first quarter work-related goals in an upcoming video, but for now, I think that I'm going to focus the next 14 days on finishing everything else other than those 3 writing assignments, and that's what I'll be focusing my efforts on for the first quarter of 2022. I also need to unfortunately clean my email. This is a real drag. The email system that I am on has a storage limit, and I hit that limit every year right around the end of the year. So I do spend some time just deleting emails and cleaning that up as much as possible. It's a real drag and real grunt administrative work, but I do have to do that, otherwise they will shut down my email account. So pretty important. This is a really interesting place to be, not having too many timed events for my week. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use this big space to really focus on the 2 things that I'd like to accomplish that day. Usually I try to focus on the one most important thing. Sometimes I've toyed with the top 3, but I think having 2 items that I want to accomplish each day will allow me to mark off whether or not I was able to stay on track, because the definition of being able to meet this goal is that I've accomplished both of the things that I want to do in that day. I have this blank section down here. I am going to use the Saturday section for things that are coming up due next week, and then I'm going to use the bottom section for upcoming due dates on the horizon. And this is my work week for December 6th through the 12th in my Hobonichi weeks. This is the regular Hobonichi weeks, not the weeks mega, so it has 70 pages in the back for work notes, but that should be more than enough for me because I also have a 90-day goal planner that I use for work. So this is just a way of maintaining visibility on all of my ongoing tasks and projects, and for me to actually set out intentions for what I'm going to be accomplishing each day at work. Alright guys, until next time, make plans and prepare to modify.